Hi Stampers, it's Linda Schmidt with Stampin' with the Hounds. Today I have a fun fold for you, and this is in my fun fold series. I was kind of doing Z folds, I've done the gate folds, I've done some bookbinding, and they're all like different versions of how to do a fold of those folds. And then today I'm going to change it up. We are going to be doing, I had done previously in my bookbinding fun fold series, I had done the easel fun fold, which is kind of a nice little display thing. So we're going to do this today, but now we're going to make this into a tea light easel. So you see that little window, and then you put your little tea light candle back there, and then now you've got that little window where you can see the tea light. So it's kind of fun. Especially with the holidays coming up, this would be a great little display piece to give to someone. So that is what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to be also doing another easel, because there's a bunch of different ways you can do the easel card. So that's kind of like my new little fun fold series I'm starting. The other way is this one, where it's now, and so instead of being a landscape, this one is more of a portrait. And on this one, when it props up, it's got a little bit more real estate. I mean, like I said, you can do a little bit bigger die here because you've got a quarter sheet of cardstock. And then this easel, then it's basically just your normal A2 card. And then we just take this card front and we just fold it in half. And then we just attach this other quarter sheet of cardstock to it to make the easel. And then you just pop up a little sentiment or whatever image or whatever you want to do. And that's what kind of holds that easel in place. And then you put your tea light behind there. And then I've been using, because we don't have the vellum paper anymore, the vellum cardstock, I've just been using our acetate sheets, or window sheets is what they call them. And then I've actually been I don't know if you can, the camera will pick it up, but I did use an embossing folder on that window sheet just to kind of give it a little bit more of a textured kind of frosted glass look. And so this one is using the Merriest Trees stamp set and dies that was a carryover from last year, and it's still available the online catalog. Or online on Stampin' Up. And so this one again, and then I've used the Wild Wheat is my cardstock, and then I did some of the new designer series paper that's in our holiday mini. So I'll be doing another video on how to do this style of easel in my series. So stay tuned for that one. And then the other one, so like I said, my first one I did, I always have to do a little sample, and I always do like retired cardstock. So if I mess up, I'm like, oh, this is retired paper. But I am using a new set, or not a new set, it's been around for a while, but it's new to me. I just got it. It's the Rustic crate, and this is a great fall set, and you can also carries over to Christmas because you've got your little poinsettias there that you can use. And then you can also the spring, because you've got your herbs, and then of course your fall harvest. So it's kind of a fun set. And then you got this little crate, and then it also has the dies where you can make a crate as well, and then it die cuts all those pieces, and it has a hello and some gloves, and then little brackets and stuff for your crate to decorate it. So it's kind of a nice set, kind of fun. I've been having fun with it. So that's kind of what I did, and then I just had some retired paper. So on here I've got my little crate that I die cut, and I stuck my little pumpkins and stuff in there. And then again on this one, if you can see it, I did the leaf fall for my embossing folder when I made my little window. So again, there's that. It's just like your bookbinding fold, and then we just score this diagonally, and then that becomes the easel, and then we just pop out a circle, and then you just put your little tea light in there. Not a real candle, just a tea light with the battery operated. And then you got that little window that you can see your tea light. So they are pretty fun. And then again, if you want something like for your saying, what I've been doing is just putting on the back side which would become the bottom. That way it's just more of like a little piece of artwork that's on display. So kind of fun. I thought it was neat. I just love that little crate. So cute. All right, we are going to get started. We're going to be doing a version of this one using that Autumn Splendor Designer Series paper. And I'm going to show you how to make the crate like I did on my first sample. This one is the one that you just stamp and then die cut. But I'm going to show you how to assemble the actual die cut crate on that. And then again on this one I did the, if you can see, there we go. I did the Xenia embossing folder, which is an online exclusive only item. And then that's what I did here too on the base. And then really on the insides of the cards, like on this one, my first one, I did die cut, I did decorate both of these. And the reason why I did that was when I forgot to put my window sheet on. So I had attached this, I punched it out, then I'm like, oh wait, I have to do the window. So I had to do another sheet of paper just to cover up that window sheet on the backing. That's why that one was kind of doubled up there. Anyway, and then I do like to use, when you punch this out, you are going to get the circle left over. So I've just been kind of using that as my little place setter for my tea light then on there. So but yeah, I think that is, oh, and then this is some of the new ribbon that's in the holiday mini. That's that wild wheat. I think, what is it called? It's like rustic ribbon or something. What is it? Does it say? Oh yeah, rustic striped ribbon. So it's that wild wheat, but it does have that really nice gold color, kind of like that harvest gold. And then I've got my mossy meadow on there. So we are going to get started. So the supplies that you are going to need for the bookbinding Tealight easel card is you're going to need your cardstock base, and I'm using mossy meadow. So this is 4 1/4 by 11. We're just going to score it at 4 1/4 and 5 1/2. And then I like I said, if you want to decorate, the back side, you can just use like a piece of cardstock, 4 by 5 1/4. I actually did die cut this with the deckled rectangle, just to kind of giving that little rustic look. So that's for the back side, and that's what I did on this one too, is that rustic. So that's the back side, and that you can do designer series paper too if you wanted to. Then you will need for the front of the card to make your triangles, you're going to do some designer series paper, and it's going to be cut to 3 7/8 by 3 7/8, and then we cut this in half diagonally to make the easel. So I'm just using again that Autumn Splendor. And then because we're doing that bookbinding fold, you'll need another strip of designer series paper, and I just had scraps, so that's going to be 1 by 4. And again, that could be cardstock if you wanted to, and then you can like emboss it. And then for the bottom, for the inside of the card here, again, you can do designer series paper or cardstock. I cut mine down to 4 by 4, and then I've already embossed it just to kind of save some time. But this is that new birch. Look how big this thing is. It's huge. It's like a half a sheet of cardstock fits in here. These are some of the new style folders. But this is that birchwood 3D, and this is in the holiday mini, the 2024 holiday mini. All right, so that one is 4 by 4, and I've already embossed that. And then I like to decorate my candle. You can either use paper, or like on this one I had done the ribbon. So whatever you want to decorate your little tea light with. Again, I just grabbed a scrap, so that's 3/4 of an inch by 5 1/4, and then I did run it through. This is again that Autumn Splendor, but I just ran it through that birchwood embossing folder. Again, just to decorate that. And then you will need a window sheet, or if you have vellum on hand, vellum works too. That is for this size because we are doing, I'm looking for my punch. Oh, here it is. From this card, what fits in that triangle, because you can't really go much bigger because you don't have much edging here. I'm doing the 2-inch circle punch. So my window sheet is just cut a little bit, I don't know if you can see that, a little bit bigger. So it's 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. And then again, I did the leaf fall And this is optional. I just thought it was kind of fun if you ran it through the embossing folder just to give it a little texture. So that's your window sheet, or if you've got vellum, you can do vellum. And then, because as I've been making these, I usually get, sometimes I have an extra triangle left over, and that's what I'm using to decorate this. You don't have to decorate it. Like I said, I didn't decorate this one, but if you want to, again, it would be that same size as our front, which is at 3 7/8. And so again, this is just an extra one that I had left over from another card I made. So I'll just be putting that on the inside. So totally optional on that one. And then the last thing that you really need is to make a template. So I just took, you know, you can take copy paper. This is just some lightweight cardstock that I had for just, it's not Stampin' Up, it's just kind of crappy. It's what I use for all my templates. But that's going to be the same size. So your template, so whatever you are going to be cutting, you know, so it's going to be the full width of that card or that section, which is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. And then you punch your hole so that you have this template, so that when you go to make your card, all you need to do is line this up, and then now you know exactly where to punch. So that, because when I first did it, I was over way too far on that edging, and it looked kind of goofy and it wasn't going to work. So, and again, because this is such a small space to work within, you know, either, you know, you can even go down a size, you can do like a 1 3/4 inch, or you could do a smaller, like say like a leaf die or something. You could do that too. So, but I had my 2-inch punch on that. And that, I think, is it. And then of course your little tea lights. And I just got these. Oh, I've had these for quite a while. There was like a huge box of them that I got off of Amazon. I'll try and find the link to it, because I bought these a while ago. But again, they're battery operated, so always works on that. I'm sure the dollar store probably has them too. So we're going to get started. We're going to do the scoring first on that card base. So again, that was 4 1/4 by 11. And this one, we will score at 4 1/4 and 5 1/2. So again, basically just kind of scoring in half. So that 5 1/2 would have been your halfway point. And then you're going to do 4 1/4 to make that bookbinding. And that's it for the scoring. That's an easy one. And then when we fold it, so we're going to make our card. So you're just going to fold it in half like normal. And then now we want to make that bookbinding part. So we're going to, on that 1 1/4 inch, we're going to fold that back. And then we'll add adhesive here to hold this to make that bookbinding. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now, just so I have that down. And then I can just set that aside for now. Okay, then let's get our designer series paper ready. So we're going to take that 3 7/8 by 3 7/8 square, and we need to cut this diagonally. Oh, you know what? We need to score that. Sorry, we're not done with the scoring. Okay, so to make our easel part, I'm going to open this up, and we are just within this, you know, 4 inch or 4 1/4 inch section. We're going to score diagonally from this score line down here up to the upper right hand corner. So on my Simply Scored tool, I did a Sharpie, I just ran a line down, so when I do my scoring diagonally, I can see where my line is. So this is going to be scored diagonally. Okay, so now you've got that, and then that score diagonally, and then this will fold. So I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to fold, so the inside of the card here. But this has to be that mountain fold in order to make your little easel. Okay, and then we want to cut our pattern paper. So that was that 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. And as you look at this, okay, so you know your diagonal line is going this way, so we need to make sure we're cutting that way. So we're just going to cut from corner to corner. And when I'm cutting diagonally, I don't like to start my blade on that corner because sometimes you'll catch it, you know, the paper, and you don't want to fray it. So I kind of start in the middle, and then I go up, and then I go down. So now there we've got our diagonal pieces. Now I think we are, yeah, now I think we're done with that. Cutting and scoring. Okay, now we're going to use our template. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put this top one down first. So this is my top part of my card. Of the triangle. Yeah, this Autumn Splendor paper is so pretty. I love any of our scenery papers. And then while I have this, I am going to do my little strip, my 1x4. I'm just going to put that on my bookbinding part, just so that's done. Okay, now we want to take our template, and what I have been doing is I do both of these, and I don't put any tape down yet. And I just line this up where I want it, and then I am just going to use some low tack tape just to hold this in place. Now I'm going to take my template. I'm going to make sure this is all lined up, you know, so it's flush all the way around. And I found, instead of punching through the template again, I just take a pencil and I just draw my circle. So then when I move this, I can take this off now. Oh no, I actually need to leave that on there because I'm going to punch these both together. Because I'm going to punch through the designer series paper and the cardstock at the same time. And now when I use my punch, I can line this up. I look for my pencil lines. Okay, I'm in there. And then now I'm just going to punch both of those off. And then we're going to reuse these for our inside. But I'm actually going to die cut it down one more just because it gets a little too tight in there. Oh, and I just like my nail. Sorry. Just like chipped my nail a little bit. Ugh. Always something. Okay, now let's look for our liquid glue. I just want to tape this down. So now we've got this all punched together. And because that's pretty narrow here, I'm just going to use my liquid glue. And then before I put this down, this is what I screwed up last time. We want to make sure our window is on here. So let me, I just caught myself. I'm going to set that aside for now. I may have to add more glue to it. I need to put my window sheet over the punched out hole first. And this you do have to trim just a little bit because it's a square and this has got that circle. So I just need to cut one of these corners off at an angle just so that it fits in here. And I think I might need to just do it a little bit more just so that plastic isn't overhanging. All right, so then that will go on the, and again, this is working from the front because now this would go on top of it. So I'm just going to go ahead and, oops, sorry, put adhesive around the edges of this punched out circle. So I've got my little silicone mat underneath here. And then we'll put this on. So if you forget and don't put your window sheet on, this is where on my other sample, I put the window sheet behind here because I had messed up. So if you forget, you can always work from the back side. And I might have got a little too crazy with my adhesive here. Sorry, hold on. What happened? Why did I cut that? Oh, I wonder if I caught it. I must have put it on there. Shoot. All right, we're going to cut a new piece because this has got too much adhesive on here. Always something with the videos. Okay, so X-nay on that one. So I had another window sheet cut here. Where did that go? Oh, here it is. I was experimenting. I took the saddle brown Stays-On and I swiped it over the window sheet to kind of give it that little color. So we'll just use that on this one. I was just kind of playing around. So again, I just need to trim off this corner. All right, let's try this again. Make sure I don't have adhesive everywhere. All right. Now, let's try this again. So I think I want, yeah, okay. So place that on there. Take two. Bump that down just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so now that's on. Okay. Then we add our designer series paper or cardstock, whatever you've got cut for your front here. And if you're doing the glue, you don't want to get too heavy around the circle, because when you go to put that on, you don't want the glue oozing out and getting over everything. Okay, now make sure our triangle. So now this, we just line this up so that it's over our circle. Our window sheet isn't hanging out anywhere. Ta-da! So there's the easel. We got our little window. Perfect. Okay. Before I tape this down, I do want to add a little bit of ribbon. And I think, what was I going to do? I was going to try, I think I might, just because I want to bring in this copper clay a little bit. I'm just going to add a little bit of ribbon here. So we're just going to remove our, where is my, here it is. Remove the backing on our sticky strip here. And then just to kind of hold this ribbon in place, because this is kind of more in the center, just going to hold that down. More there. Okay, that looks good. And then give that a good press. And then I just like to take a little bit, it's kind of my cheater way of tying a bow. Take another piece and then just tie this in a single knot. Especially on some of this, because this is a wider, kind of a thicker ribbon. This way you don't get as much bulk in your card. And then we'll just trim the ends. Okay, so now there is that easel. And now we just need to work on our base, and we need to do our little topper. So I'm going to, on this folder, so again, this was my 4x4 piece of cardstock. I think what I wanted to do was I was going to add, so I've already embossed it. with that birch embossing folder, but I was going to do a little bit of ink blending. Just trying to decide. Yeah, let's use this one. Just looking at my ash. Let me switch my brushes here. All right, so I'm using the Wild Wheat ink, and I'm just going to use one of our blending brushes. So I'm just kind of blending, and then again, I've got that silicone mat underneath. I'll put a link on these. They came there because it's a nice big sheet and it's clear, so I can see my grid lines. I got these off of Amazon, so they're like a 2-pack. There's this clear, and then there's kind of a gray, but they're kind of a nice. It's like a little bit bigger. I mean, I love our little craft sheets, but this is a little bit bigger surface area to work with. So I'm just going to do a little bit of ink blending around the edges just to kind of darken this up and give it a little bit more of a rustic look. So again, when you're ink blending, you just want to kind of work off the silicone mat onto the cardstock so you avoid the big, blotchy circles. And then you always want to work on a singular motion, kind of holding on to that brush head. And then I can just kind of fade in as I go into the center. There, so it just kind of gives it a little bit more dimension. And then what's great about the silicone mats, and again, I've got another little Amazon find. These come in a 3-pack, but they're like a little chamois. There's like a pink, a blue, and then this kind of mint color. And again, you just wet them, so they're going to be nice, and you can reuse them all the time. So that you're not always throwing away like the baby wipes or anything. But if you do buy the glass mat, Stampin' Up, it comes with a gray chamois. It's actually a little bit nicer quality than my Amazon ones. But these are nice because I have these for class for my people. But the glass mat, when you do purchase it, it does come with one of these little chamois too. But yeah, you just keep it wet. It does eventually dry out, but then you just re-wet it. And last night for my one class, we were doing some dark, like red, and this thing was it was really dirty, but it cleaned up pretty well. I mean, I just rinsed it, with some cold water and stuff in it. So it will stain, but I thought it cleaned up pretty good. All right, so now we can go ahead and put this on the inside of our card. So again, this is that 4x4 square. And then remember, I had those extra triangles. That's what I like to put here. So again, this was at 3 by 7/8. This is just an extra one. But again, if you can cut another one and then just cut it diagonally in half, because I just kind of like to have this section of that card decorated as well. So totally optional. But again, if you've got scraps, you might as well use them. All right, so this is going to go right here. All right, and then you need a little something for your pop-up. So I've been using that, the little crate with the flowers. So I've already die cut and colored my little pumpkins and everything. I did pumpkin pie with my Stampin' blends. I did lemon lolly with a little bit of Daffodil Delight, the dark. And then I did a little crumb cake just to kind of accent, because I kind of wanted that white pumpkin. And then the leaves, I did Old Olive. And then for the corn, I did Wild Wheat and a little bit of the dark Daffodil Delight on there. And then I did the Mossy Meadow blends. And then one of the, I think it was 200 from the other Stampin' blend colors for the dark brown on there. So that's already die cut. And then my crate, I've already die cut this as well. So it has 2 pieces. And then I want to, again, give this a little bit of depth to it. So I'm going to take I thought I had my crumb cake. Dun, dun, dun. Maybe we'll do pecan pie since this is here. So same thing. I'm just going to ink blend a little bit around the edges just to kind of give the crate some dimension. Plus it kind of brings out, because this the top part of the crate has some texturing on it, which I think is kind of neat. So just adds a little something something. And then the base, I just kind of need to do just this top part because the rest of this kind of folds in. You don't really see it. All right, totally optional. It's just Linda being Linda. With my goofiness. Oh, it's all about the details. All right, let's clean that up again. Okay. Now, with this little crate, I know when I first looked at it, I'm like, what do I do with this thing? All right, so on this is the bottom part. It does, when you die cut it, it's going to give you these little score lines on here. These are all going to come up. These are what the flap, what this is going to glue to. So bring all of these, fold on all these little score lines. Just do little valley folds on all of them. And this one comes down. Just make sure those are all nice and creased. Okay, then you put glue on all of these tabs, and then that's what this then gets attached to make your little 3D box on that. So we're going to go ahead and, like I said, I'm going to use liquid glue because these are pretty tiny. So we'll just do a little bit of glue on all of these. And I kind of started on one end and then worked my way over. Easier said than done sometimes. Just holding that down so I can get those in there. And I just kind of hold on to it just for a little bit, just to make sure that glue is keeping that in place. All right, and then these, I'm just going to bend these, pull them up a little bit. And then we're going to put glue on all of these. And then again, just kind of press those down. And then just hold that in place for a minute. All right, so then you've got your little box. Isn't that cute? I love it. Ding, ding, ding. All right, so now our little flowers, and they fit inside of it. And these, I just put a little bit of glue just to kind of hold that in place. I just kind of put that on the bottom here. Okay. Then in the die cuts, you've got these little strips and then kind of like the brackets. Those are for the box. And those I've already die cut. I was just going through my scraps. Oh yeah, I've got I had done the gold. And this is out of our new textured gold foil and silver. So I had just done these little brackets in that textured gold. And those I had done, just kind of putting these here. And then the other ones, did I die cut those? I'm just looking for them. Oh yeah, I did. Okay. Little pieces. Okay, so these you do want to make sure you're going the same direction as your box angle. So again, these are pretty tiny, so I'm just going to do the liquid glue on these as well. Yeah, I'm like at my card class last night, everybody was doing like fall cards, and here in Minnesota, it was like close to 80. I mean, it's been, we've had a very warm fall, which I, don't want to complain, but at some point I'm like, I kind of do want my sweater weather. I want to be able to wear my fall clothes, and knowing our luck, we'll end up going straight into winter. But yeah, because it's been so dry here too, the fall colors haven't been as vibrant as they typically are. So I have to make my fall cards to make up for it. All right, and then that's gonna go there. This is where having a little bit of tweezers, these kind of come in handy. Yeah, I gave all my these I got off of Amazon too. I got all these from I had my huge in-person event, or not huge, but well, it's a big deal for me because it's a lot of projects that we do. My Stampalooza, and so all the people that came, they got a little gift bag. They got the chamois, and they got the tweezers, and they got a little ruler and pencil and kind of stuff. Cause we did a lot of fun fold, in-depth kind of projects and stuff at that Stampalooza event. Okay, and then we'll do one more here. Like so. All right, so now our little box is all assembled. And then I do, even though this has a little bit of dimension, I still like to pop it up using some dimensionals, just so that my easel will stay propped up. So basically what I do is I just kind of, before I attach it, I just kind of hold it here and see. I mean, it kind of catches, because I've got some bulk here, but I want to make sure it doesn't flop over. So I think that looks pretty good on that side. So we're just going to add some dimensionals on the back. And then before I go too far, so that looks good, and I'll press that down. So now that little stopper keeps our easel from popping up. All right, and then remember when we punched out, we got this little shape. So it gets a little tight sometimes. So I am actually going to real quick just die cut these. I'm going to do them together just to make them smaller. So I'll be right back. Hold on. I'm just going to do this off screen. I'm just going to be using, these are the stylish shapes. So I'm taking the third, I'm going to take this one and just die cut it down just to make a little bit smaller. Okay. So then you just got that. And now this is just a little bit smaller. And I kept both circles just because I'm like, well, it's there. So I'm just going to glue those down. So let's see here. The path looks like it was going probably this way. So we just glue that. So you got your little coaster for your tea light. And then I just kind of spot check. Yep, that looks good. And then we want to put our tea light in. So again, this was that little 3/4 of an inch by 5 1/4. And I've already kind of texturized it. You can use ribbon as well. But I just had some strips of this paper left over. So I'm just going to put tape on the back of it. And then I'll just grab my tea light and just wrap this around. And you can go even a little bit narrower than what I did. I want to make sure I've got good adhesive on that end so it doesn't pop off. Make sure that's held in place. That looks good. All right, so then that is a little plop in right there. Cute. And then let's go ahead and just do our back. So again, this was just that 4 by 5 1/4. I die cut it using the largest deckled rectangle, and I am just going to take and stamp my pumpkins and sunflowers in the wild wheat. And I'm just going to put this on the back here in the same color, so it's just tone on tone. And then I will take Cajun Craze for my saying. And in the set, it's got, because this, I'm going to use this as one of my Thanksgiving cards. I'm going to go ahead and use the Blessed Beyond measure. Fit on there. Oh yeah, a well-loved stamp already. And I'm going to ink this up in Cajun Craze, and I'm just going to stamp just right on top of what on that image there. And then this way I've got room for my own personal message. So that's just a little accent piece in that corner. All right, and that is it for the easels. We'll just go ahead and attach this onto the back of the card. And then we'll turn our tea light on and place it in there. And there's your little easel card with the tea light. Super cute. Fun, fun, fun. All right, so that is it. Thanks again for joining me. Like I said, I am going to be doing another tutorial on the other easel one. So make sure you like and subscribe to my channel and check out, make sure you'll see how I do the other one using a full-size cardstock for it. So that'll be another one, and I'll do kind of like a Christmas theme for that one, I think. So thanks again for watching. Have a great and creative day. Bye-bye.